We need to stop this stigma. We need to put an end to this stigma around mental health and seeking help around mental health. It is so irritating for me when I see family members and friends tell me that, you know, so-and-so is depressed, and we've been telling them, pull yourself out, and they're not doing it. They have everything else in their lives to be grateful for, but they're just, you know, depressed. As if depression is a choice. It's not. Assalamu alaikum. This is Eram Saeed, and today I want to talk about the sad demise of Maulana Tariq Jamil's son. May Allah Ta'ala do his maghfirat and increase his darajat, and may Allah Ta'ala give sabr jameel to the family. Ameen. Before we continue, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also to our WhatsApp channel so that you can continue to get this content. Of course, this was a very sad event. It is a tragedy, especially considering how much good work Maulana Tariq Jamil does and has been doing for his entire life for so many people. This kind of tragedy can befall anybody. You know, I would like to encourage people to remember that in times like these, it is absolutely inhumane and very, very inconsiderate to make comments that can be hurtful to the family. Unfortunately, a lot of people out of their ignorance do that, and they think they're doing a good job, but they will be answerable to Allah Ta'ala that a family that is already in pain, an azmaish that Allah Ta'ala has chosen for them, and while they are going through it, trying to practice sabr, somebody else is trying to kick them down. We will be answerable for those actions. So please remember that it's a very, very serious offense in the eyes of Islam. The second thing I want to talk about today is the importance of mental health. I have been in Pakistan for 4 years, and in these 4 years I have seen the appalling way that mental health is treated in Pakistan. We know of the incidents that happened with a particular institute that was, you know, churning out people with a 2-week course and calling them mental health experts. I am sorry to say that even though I have spoken to professionals here, largely I have been disappointed. I'm not saying that there are no good mental health professionals here in Pakistan, but for the most part I have been disappointed. First of all, it doesn't seem like there is a proper regulatory body that governs these people on what they can do, and their attitude and their demeanor with their patients, and the boundaries with the patient-client relationship. It is appalling, sorry to say. But then also what is appalling is the general attitude of public around mental health issues. Majority of us do not understand what mental health is. And then there is this attitude from people that are religious that basically go and label a person when they're suffering from depression or anxiety or anything like that. They go and tell them, if you say your prayers 5 times, if you read the Quran, if you do azkar, you will never have depression. You will never blah, blah, blah. As if the person who is already suffering is now to be blamed for their lack of connection with Islam, and that's their fault. And I'm here to tell you, this is BS, and stop it, please. Because I can tell you from my personal experience, I've talked about it very openly, that I have suffered from depression. It can be caused due to many reasons. It could be because of past trauma, PTSD that catches up. It could be because of a certain age that a woman is going through. It can be because of a life event. It could be for anything. And let me tell you another thing. It is atrocious, and I think a huge travesty that our ulama karam, our scholars have done, that they have not talked openly about the life of our dear Prophet ﷺ, that he himself suffered from these conditions at times. Now, when we say that, all those people that are ignorant of the seerah will say, oh my God, this is Tawheen-e-Nabwi, and this is what she's saying is wrong. No, this is there. This is actually in the Quran. I'm quoting to you from the Quran. Surah Duha. Why was Surah Duha sent to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ? Because he was in a state of extreme distress after Taif, when those people had been hitting our dear Prophet and abusing him. He prayed to Allah Ta'ala, he wailed to Allah Ta'ala, he pled to Allah Ta'ala that, oh Allah, have you abandoned me to these people? And immediately Surah Duha was sent, oh dear Prophet, we have for surely not abandoned you. Surah Duha is one of the best, I would say, treatments for depression. So when people say, I don't know why they have to make our Prophet seem like an angel. He was perfect, there is no doubt. But the fact that he was a human being and he went through human conditions like grief. When Hazrat Khadija Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anha passed away and Hazrat Abu Talib passed away, that was known as Amul Huzn for Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The Sahaba said that he was in so much grief that a lot of times they were worried for his health. They were worried that he may not make it because the enormity of grief was so much for him, because he had already been going through the exile of Shah Abi Talib. He was a human. So why do we take all of these things away and hide them? Oh, no, we don't want to talk about any of that. Why not? Are you saying, Nauzubillah, that it was something wrong if our Prophet ﷺ went through those things? There are ahadith where he talks about how he would sometimes feel extreme anxiety or depression. So these are normal human conditions and they can happen. This is what we call contraction and expansion, and we go through them. I would also like to remind you that one of the greatest scholars, whether you like him or not, the fact that his contributions are enormous towards Islam, Dr. Israr, a medical doctor, a scholar, a philosopher, renowned, respected worldwide, suffered from depression, especially towards his last days. He has videos talking about it, that I am suffering from extreme depression. And I'm so grateful that he was honest enough to talk about it. And he suffered from something called dysthymia. And dysthymia is a genetic disorder which some people are born with. And it causes a person to not have normal levels of serotonin. So their depressions can happen very quickly. A normal, serotonin is what regulates emotions. I found out at the ripe old age of 47 that I also have dysthymia. And thank God I didn't know about it my whole life, because one of the side effects of dysthymia is that because these people need to feel a little bit more excitement in life in order to feel normal, so that their serotonin levels are, what normal people have, they sometimes become high achievers because they constantly have to do something to give them that hit of serotonin so that it pulls them up. I also happen to have ADHD. I've been diagnosed with that. I think I have spatial dyslexia as well. You can put me right outside my house and I will get lost. I can guarantee you that. I've done that many times. But I can tell you something, for the longest time I was very embarrassed about it. I didn't want to talk about it. I tried to hide it. And it wasn't until I learned that, this is how Allah Ta'ala made me, this is how I am. I accept it. I even celebrate it. I joke about it myself with people. And it has its gifts, which I'm very grateful for. But let's go back to talking about depression and anxiety, because those are conditions that they can kind of go with ebb and flow. But when a person is depressed, you have to understand the chemical balance of the brain is no longer balanced. It is imbalanced. The person no longer has the ability to pull themselves out of that condition. It is so irritating for me when I see family members and friends tell me that, so-and-so is depressed, and we've been telling them, pull yourself out, and they're not doing it. They have everything else in their lives to be grateful for, but they're just, depressed. As if depression is a choice. It's not. It happens. There are medical reasons. Like I said, the brain is going through a chemical imbalance. There are all kinds of help available. My personal choice, and I'm not saying this for you guys, my personal choice is that I try to avoid long-term medication, because medical science does not have a very viable solution for mental health solutions long-term. Now, in the short term, please get some help, talk to a doctor. You do not need to suffer. Get some help and get on some medication. I have shared the technique of 741, which works wonders for panic attacks, overwhelm, depression, any kind of grief, all of those conditions. You can just Google that, go to YouTube, search for that video called 741 by Eram Saeed. It will work in 5 minutes, and you do it continuously, inshallah, you'll get better. But having said that, I'm not a medical doctor, and I don't want you to stop taking medication if you are taking it, because these medicines are are very dangerous if you stop them suddenly. You have to taper off under the care of a doctor. When people come to me and they can't afford to take my sessions long term, I advise them to get marriage counseling, or for one person to get counseling for their anger issues, or if they have bipolar disorder, to take medicine for bipolar disorder, and they adamantly refuse. They say only crazy people go to psychiatrists. We're not crazy. He's crazy or she's crazy. She should go. Actually, both people should go. People can benefit from going to good therapy. It's very helpful. We need to stop this stigma. We need to put an end to this stigma around mental health and seeking help around mental health. Let me tell you another thing. It is smart people who actually seek help for mental health issues, because stupid people are going to keep denying it and putting the blame on other people when clearly they have a problem. And smart people will say, I'm going to go seek help. You know, that's why my courses, when I started my courses in Pakistan, people said, nobody's going to buy your courses because Pakistanis don't believe in self-help. And I've proven them wrong. Many, many people, thousands of people have gone through my courses. So there are smart people who are ready to get help. So please, if you are suffering from any kind of mental health issues, or somebody that you know, please take them seriously. If somebody's talking about suicide, do not joke about it. Never joke about when somebody mentions suicide, because you don't know what is going on inside their minds. They might seem very normal to you, but you may not realize that they are just a snap away from actually doing it. So by law, by my rule, if somebody talks about suicide, I always refer them to a doctor or to a suicide helpline. So if somebody around you is talking about it, make sure you are there to help them out. And make sure they are under supervision so that they don't try to commit that act when they are in an extremely down state. I hope this was helpful.